好啦，大家同學各位好啊，又翻嚟我哋嘅 Facebook Live 啦。今日就好開心邀請到我哋一啲好重要嘅 partners 啦。咁啊 Loughborough University ONCAMPUS Loughborough 嘅有 Centre 嘅 Director 啦，Angela、Tracy 啦，同埋我哋嘅香港嘅學校代表 Ruby， 同大家去講解下呢個 Foundation 如何保證升讀呢個英國大學啊。咁大家都可能有聽過 Foundation， 但係其實唔知佢哋係上堂係學啲咩啦。同埋其實 Foundation 佢係點樣幫到你去 catch up 一個大學嘅課程。咁有啲同學仔 let's say 可能我想直入 Loughborough 嘅，可能544爭一個 grade hit 唔到佢個direct year one entry requirement。佢通過1年嘅時間點樣可以幫到你去成功去catch up呢個 year one 至 year three 嘅課程？點樣去寫一啲 research 嘅 paper， 就相信 foundation 課程都會好 detail 咁樣睇到。咁今日係有特別嘉賓咧，咁我哋嘅直情係 centre 嘅 director， 係拉夫堡大學嘅 director， 去同大家去即係好詳細咁樣講解，包括埋有時間表啊，有 foundation 好具體讀啲咩啊，都可以即係同大家好詳細咁樣講翻啲升班率等等嘅資訊嘅。咁 thank you for your time, Angela and Tracy. So it's great to have you here tonight. It's in lunch hour in UK. So happy Friday. So it's great to have you all tonight to introduce the courses, the brilliant on-campus Loughborough courses to our students. So it will be great if you can briefly talk about how on-campus works and how it really supports students from progressing to one of the best universities, top universities in UK, Loughborough. Sports science in Loughborough is brilliant, and art and design, all top ones in UK. So it would be great if Tracy or Angela can briefly introduce to our students.
If I briefly introduce on campus, and then we'll go to Tracy, who is the head of learning and teaching, and she can talk about some of the specific subjects such as sport and about how it's delivered within the university, and talk about some of the university rankings. So on campus itself is a program that Cambridge Education Group operate. We operate it in about 15 different universities. Loughborough is the newest university to embrace this delivery, and our new centre at Loughborough opened in September. And the point of on campus is to enable international students to improve their English skills, but also their academic and study skills, so that they're able to progress onto a degree programme at their preferred university. And usually those students that would come to on-campus Loughborough will progress onto Loughborough University. So we would, along with the English and the academic skill support, we would also ensure that our students become part of the university community and are able to progress onto the university quite smoothly. So if you could move on the slide, Kenny. So as for what on-campus gives students, we give them an outstanding teaching experience over 2 semesters. So for 1 academic year, students come to us and we have an outstanding teaching team who deliver over and above what they need to actually progress onto the university. We give our students access to university from day one. So the centre is very much in the centre of the university campus, and our students are Loughborough University students from day one. CEG, or Cambridge Education Group, has a proven track record of success, and it's a record of success that we are expecting Loughborough to actually exceed by the end of this year. All of our students have guaranteed progression to the university as long as they pass our programme. And as you would expect, we have a very rigorous quality assurance process, so that we're ensuring that what we actually deliver to our students is second to none. Thank you, Kenny.
So for students who actually meet the academic requirements and also plus English requirements, and maybe for architecture, they may have a portfolio requirement. As long as they pass the requirements, they can be guaranteed that to progress to Loughborough Year 1. Yeah,
Yes,
that's great news
absolutely.
for Hong Kong students.
Yeah. And actually, Tracy, with regards to architecture, for example, perhaps you could give some advice on how we support our students with their portfolio production.
Yep. With the architecture department at Loughborough being rated #1 in the UK, obviously it's a really highly competitive workplace. And so what we need to do is not only provide the academic support for our students to progress, but also to link closely with the construction school to make sure that the students are prepared for the level of working. So right from the word go, we start working with our students on the production of their portfolio. It's important for the portfolio not to be just about the end result. The university school is very interested in the process and the thought patterns. So we work closely with our students to start producing that from straight away. And we have really close links with the architecture school. As we do with every school, we have a link tutor, and they come into the on-campus centre regularly. They meet with our students and they talk to them about potential timetables. They talk to them about how their portfolio is progressing, and our students go down. They experience lessons in the actual university buildings. They can attend seminars with the various years of university students. So it's very much getting our students involved right from the very start of their course and working in unison with the university to make sure that everything produced is of the right standard, that they will succeed when they move on.
And if I can sort of talk you through the route to the degree at Loughborough, we have 5 pathways. So we deliver a foundation program in business, economics and finance. We deliver one in STEM subjects, so engineering and physical sciences. We also deliver a program in humanities and social sciences, one in life sciences and one in art and design. So students who wish to go on to study an art design degree, for example, will take their foundation program with us on the art and design pathway.
Can I jump in?
You could.
Because at this point, you might be thinking, which pathway does my degree fall into? Is chemical engineering which is it in engineering? Obviously, it would be that one. So the way it works is you choose the degree first that you think you're interested in, and then that will pop you into the right pathway for us. So you don't need to be deciding now which pathway do you want to be on. It's very much choose your degree, and then we help put you on the right pathway to progress onto that degree. And there are different modules. I think we're going to come on to different modules in a moment, but those modules are tailored to ensure that you have got the right skills to progress. So if I give you an example, for business, if you wanted to go on to international business, you would do business behaviours and economics and finance. But if you wanted to go on to accountancy, that's way more maths involved. So you would have economics and finance plus advanced maths for business. So the pathway is tailored within itself to the exact modules that you need for each degree. Thanks, Angela.
Lovely, thank you. We also offer a pre-masters program. So that's for students who already have a degree from their home country, but want to come to Loughborough University to study at the postgraduate level. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but I can talk you through some of the modules that we offer for our undergraduate foundation program. So all of our students will continue to take English. That might be to ensure that they reach the required IELTS standard, or if they have already reached that standard, then there is an element of academic English that is delivered to students as well. All of our students will also study 2 subject modules. So, for example, an engineering student will study physics or chemistry, and well, they study physics and pure mathematics. And then each of our pathways offers this unique module that is unique to CEG, and that is a skills module. So again, for those students that are studying engineering, they will do a skills for science module. And that's designed to give our students those extra skills, that extra familiarity they need with their subject, over and above the academic content. So, for example, skills for science will enable students to work
in a lab, right?
Work in a lab and
health and safety.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Just curious that which pathway is the most popular for Loughborough for Hong Kong Chinese students?
At the moment, the Hong Kong Chinese students, there's quite a few in business and there's quite a few in life sciences.
Right.
And they are predominantly leading towards sport-based courses. So sport management falls under business, sports science falls under life sciences.
Yeah, I got a student last year who is currently studying with you. So I think his only choice is Loughborough, because he's an athlete. So he's the cross country team in Loughborough is brilliant. The facilities is brilliant. Yeah. So his only choice. There's no 5 choices in UCAS. He only got one choice.
If you want to do sport, if you want to do sport of any kind, Loughborough is the university to go to with not only a UK #1 ranking, but a world ranking for sport-based courses. And as we go further through the presentation, I think there's a map that comes up that shows how big the campus is and all the sport facilities that are available here. We have professional athletes training here all the time. I don't know if you've heard of Anthony Joshua, the boxer. He's regularly jogging around. Adam Peaty, the world record breaking swimmer, he trains here as well. So for sport, it's absolutely the top place to be.
And that's not just if you want to study sport. If you might want to study a humanities subject at degree level, but be a keen sports person, and those facilities are also available to our students. And apart from that, you may just be a hobbyist. You might have a hobby and then you like football, but you're not particularly at the elite level. But we have facilities for those students as well.
Yeah, that's great, and I'm sure that they can find their sport activities in Loughborough. There are many sports teams. I think my last meeting with Loughborough representative is they can join a professional one, but if they are not that professional, they can go with that amateur one. Athlete team like swimming or cross country, badminton, basketball, etc.
And of course, if you're not interested in playing sport at all, Loughborough is still a fantastic university because, as we'll come on to show you, the facilities, the countryside, the whole campus is just beautiful. And being self-contained, it's incredibly safe. There's an amazing feeling of community. It's one of the biggest, well, it is the biggest single campus university in the UK.
Great. Yeah. So talking about I think the entry requirements of the pathways, I think those DSE and A-level students were really interested.
Yes. Sorry, Angela.
No, go on, Ruby.
Thank you. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about the entry requirement in terms for Hong Kong qualification. So DSE currently we're asking for 332, and then we also do take Form 5 students as well. So if a student is coming from a Band 1 secondary school in Hong Kong, we'll be asking for an overall average of 55%. And if it's other bandings, we'll be asking for an overall average of 60%. And we also consider students with GCSEs if they're from international school. GCSE will be asking for 5 Bs. And I think, Angela, if we come across a student whether they might be falling short in 1 or 2 subjects, maybe with 1 or 2 Cs, would that be still kind of like we'll consider that on case by case basis? Will we?
Yes, but we may consider that on a case-by-case basis. However, I do have to stress that because Loughborough is a prestigious university, we do really expect students to be the high achieving students that would come to us.
I think it would very much depend on which exams they were slightly below in. Obviously, anything that was relevant for their course would need to be at the right level straight away. So any life science students would need to have their science GCSEs at the right level before they got here.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, I think that's it from me for now. Thank you.
But of course, there is the extended English program that if our potential applicants don't get 5 straight away, they can come and do an extended program with us where they have 10 weeks of just English before the undergraduate foundation starts. So that is an option for anybody who is a little bit weaker. But the UFP course, the undergraduate foundation course, is challenging. So we do need people to be at the right level because we want them to have a good time, to succeed and be confident in their learning. So we are quite strict, aren't we, Angela?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a question from students. So I will recap in English. So can I get into Loughborough with 444 with source plans? I think not for direct entry, but yes for foundation.
Are we talking about their English language qualification?
DSC, HKDSC, 444s. I guess it's HKDSC.
It's not. Oh, right. No. So, Ruby, Ruby would be better able to advise you on that. I think that's less than our required standard, isn't it?
No, we asked for 332. So 5 or 5-star, it's normally the highest. 1 is the lowest. So if they've got 444, meaning that they go over 332. So we could accept them in terms of academic, but of course, as Angela and Tracy said, we'll then need to look at the English level as well. So they will need at least IELTS 5.0 in all bands.
Yeah, it's fair. It's not high for 5.0. So I think Hong Kong students will be fine. Yeah, and I think some pathways even look for 5.5. So 5.0 is definitely a good opportunity for students to join your dream degree. Yeah, so I guess we are really clear with entry requirements. So can Angela or Tracy talk about the pre-master, how really the pre-master works?
Yes. Yes, the pre-master program is different to our undergraduate program because our pre-master program is about skills, and it's completely about developing those skills that you require to be successful at the postgraduate level. So you would be sharing a class you might be an arts student and you'd be sharing a class with an engineering student and a science student perhaps, because there's very little subject content. It's all about the skills. It's all about those top quality academic skills that you need for university, for postgraduate study. So you would still do a skills module. So if your postgraduate ambition was in business, for example, you would do a skills for business module. But then you'd also carry out these other skills. So for example, you would be expected to write a dissertation. You would continue with your academic English development. You would, for example, study quantitative and qualitative research methods. So it's all about developing those research skills, those dissertation writing skills, and those team working skills that you need in order to carry out worthwhile, high level academic research at the postgraduate level.
Great. Yeah, so I guess the entry requirements are clear. So they need 21 years old plus and IELTS 5.5. But yeah, I think most students, if you finish a degree, you will have 5.5 in Hong Kong because there's university English in Hong Kong. So I guess most 90% of Hong Kong students will be fine for this one. So yeah, the entry requirements are really fair enough. Yeah, and I guess many students will be really interested because I seldom see these kind of detailed schedule for foundation students or pathway students. So is it possible to talk about how the schedule really works, like the tutorial lectures and
I'm happy to take that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take that. This is an example timetable of what a student might experience. All of our lessons are 1.5 hours long, so 90 minutes. And we choose 90 minutes because we think that that's the right amount of time for a student to be able to concentrate without needing to go for a break. So all of our lessons are 90 minutes long. So for each module, each of the main modules has 6 hours per week. So 4 90-minute classes. So let's pretend we're doing life sciences today. So we can see on there, we have 4 biology lessons. We have biology at 1 o'clock on a Monday, 8:45 on a Tuesday, 8:45 on a Wednesday, and where's the last one? 10:30 on a Thursday. So 4 lessons for biology. Then you'll see 4 lessons on there for chemistry and 4 lessons for English. And the skills on there, it looks like skills for L science. There it is. That's on, I can see one now, on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. There are 2 of those. So 3 hours of skills and 6 hours of the 2 main modules and 6 hours of English. Now, as Angela mentioned, if you already have an IELTS score equivalent to 6.5 or above, then we would offer you some academic writing sessions. These are, bear with me. We know that these are more than it says in the CEG brochure. I know it says if you've got 6.5, you don't have to do English, but we have made a decision with the university that it's very much beneficial for you to do some academic writing, just extra skills to make sure you've got more chance to achieve when you move on to Loughborough. And that would be for 2 lessons per week, so 3 hours of academic writing. That generally starts in semester 2, while we are getting as many people through the English qualification as possible. You'll see it in the middle, we have a tutorial. You don't have it 5 times per week. It's just 1 tutorial per week. And that's where we mix students up. So it's a really good opportunity to make new friends. And it's where we can share key messages with students. We can do all the legal things that we have to do, like teach you about PREVENT, which is the UK's anti-extremist, anti-terrorism policy. We have to do safeguarding to make sure you're keeping yourself safe online and in the real world. And we also look at employability skills. We look at rights in the UK. We look at all sorts of things that will help you not only settle in, but adjust to living on your own and understand how things work over here, because I imagine they're going to be quite different to living in Hong Kong. And Loughborough will feel quite flat, I imagine, coming from Hong Kong to us, because it's very green and small, sort of level playing fields. But that's an average timetable there. You'll see there are 2 private study times on a Wednesday afternoon and a Friday afternoon. That allows you to participate in sport on a Wednesday and to have interventions with your teachers. If you're not doing so well, we can do one-to-one support sessions in those yellow blocks, as well as whenever you're not in lesson. And the last thing I would mention about the timetable, we have a lovely thing called Catch-Up Club, where students who maybe they've missed an assessment or an exam, they will get asked to go to Catch-Up Club so that they can do their work. Or if somebody's not doing so well, we will ask them to spend some time in Catch-Up Club doing extra work to make sure they don't fall too far behind. Okay, thanks, Kenny.
Right. Yes, and I think the academic English is really important, because back to my university ages, I struggle in doing those quotations,
the
research
referencing.
papers. Yes, it's hard to remember how the formatting goes and stuff.
And especially with all of the advancements in artificial intelligence at the moment, we are really fighting a battle for students to be producing their own work, legitimate work. So the referencing, the academic style becomes more and more important, because it shows that the student wrote it themselves and didn't get a bot somewhere to write it for them.
Yes, and yeah, I wonder how are the grades assessed, because let's say if they hit the academic requirement, they are in English and maybe extra requirements, they are guaranteed to be progressed to year 1. So how are the grades assessed in the foundation program?
As you would any exam, really, there are different weightings for different exams within each module. If I talk about economics and finance, for example, the economics exam, the first one, is quite small and it's multiple choice. So that is only worth 20% of the overall figure for that module. And then they do an essay that is also on economics. That's obviously a piece of coursework, but that is worth 30%. And then the finance exam is worth 50%. So you add all of those scores together, and 40% is considered a pass, but you need 60% to progress to Loughborough. If a student wasn't doing so well, if we tried everything and they managed to scrape through with 45%, of course, they won't be able to go to Loughborough, but we would help them go to another UK university, another one of on-campus partners like Aston or Hull or Sunderland. There are still opportunities for those students who don't reach the 60%. In a very small minority of degrees, maths is required at 70. For students who wanted to go on to do a maths degree, they would have to get 70% in that module, but the vast majority is 60%. And it all translates into grades A through to E, as you would imagine, A being 79% or above, down to E being 40%.
Right. So yeah, it's fair for 60% progression rate,
Yes.
progression score, because some programs need 70%.
Just the maths.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
some international colleges, they need 80% for those really competitive courses. So
Brilliant.
80%
So it's even better then. It's like getting a B in an IGCSE, 60%.
So I guess if students, they work hard, they do. I saw a student asking, is it really important for students to have full attendance?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. It's absolutely compulsory.
We can't stress enough how important attendance is, because if they're missing lessons, they're missing content, and we get very concerned if a student falls below 90%. If they fall below 90, then they'll be brought to meetings with either myself, Angela, or Joe, who is head of student services. And attendance is important because it shows to the university that they're keen, that they want to be there. Even if a student got 60% but 25% attendance, which is unlikely, the university would be saying, why aren't you bothering? Why are you not attending these important lessons and taking the opportunity to improve your English and settle in better? So yes, we're very keen on attendance.
And for Loughborough, it's not like London or other big cities. So I don't think students will go elsewhere. They will just focus on their academics and also some sport activities. So it will be healthier, from my understanding.
So Loughborough isn't a big city, but it's within reach of big cities. So the train network is fantastic. For the weekends, they could get to London in an hour and a half. They can get to Nottingham on the bus or the train in about 20 minutes. There's also Manchester would be about 2 hours away. So we are incredibly central and have really good transport links to the big cities. So for me, it's the best of both worlds. There's a lovely, quiet campus for maximizing study and easy reach to big cities for excitement and party time in the holidays and the weekends.
So I guess admissions will help with the progression. There will be progression officer as always, and portfolio support.
Yes.
Special courses.
We at our centre on campus Loughborough, we have a progression officer who her whole job is to ensure that our students get the support they need in order to progress onto the university. So she gets to know every student individually, their strengths and weaknesses, and identifies where they need help and where they need extra advice, perhaps, about the course that they want to go on to. So that's her full-time job, really, is to provide that support to students.
So here's the map. I guess you both are more familiar than me.
That I think that gives an indication of how large this campus is. It's so big. We have buses running from one end to the other. So, but we in the Herbert Manzoni building, we're really lucky. We're right in the centre there. Look, we are in the area called Grand Central, same as New York. And the accommodation is nearby, the library is nearby. To the left, down the bottom, there's a lot of sport pitches. To the right, where it says, I think it says main entrance, there's a full-size Olympic swimming pool. There are multiple gyms. In terms of catering, there's a lovely Chinese restaurant in the student union. There are little artisan coffee shops everywhere. What else? Can you remember anything?
Yes, there's Subway, and there's a little spa. There's a couple of spa shops on the campus where students can buy supplies, but also there are cafes sort of dotted about throughout the different schools of learning. So there's always somewhere where you can grab a drink or you can grab a quick snack.
And the student union do lots for international students. They are always really aware at the start of the year. The international students, they try to. There's a load of different societies. There is a Hong Kong Chinese society, and we try to do a lot of work at the start of the year to mix up our students, to make sure that they are meeting new friends, that nobody is isolated, that there's always support in their halls of residence, and that they are really getting involved in activities, because it's scary coming across the world. It's scary living in a whole different culture, but we spend lots of time in the first few weeks making sure everybody settles in and makes new friends.
And in the main, most of our students actually live on campus. The vast majority of our students will rent a room from the university, one of the halls of residence, and they are also virtually in the middle of campus, certainly no more than a 10-minute walk away from our centre. So that enables, or that cuts down on the inconvenience of travelling to the centre, because you can certainly walk within 10 minutes. And it also ensures that there's a wide range of accommodation that students can pick from. But also what it means is that students can mix very closely with the university students, because they'll be in halls of accommodation with full-time university students as well.
Right. May I know which sport is the most popular one among the students in Loughborough?
Tracy?
Which what, sorry?
Which sport is the most popular?
Sport?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
it could be football is very, or soccer is
football,
very.
but we've got in our centre,
Right.
we've got students who represent their country in lacrosse, hammer throwing, football, which martial art is it? Oh, I don't know which one now. But we see a lot of, we've got rugby players, Edwards Rugby. You just see all sorts. You see,
Right.
do you know what, hockey players? Because we're right near the hockey pitch, aren't we? Yeah, probably football and rugby would be the biggest, though.
Right. I actually went through some statistics, and it showed that the students from various universities win the Olympic medals for UK. And Loughborough is in top 1 or top 2.
Yes, top 1.
Top 1, yeah. I think there's a gold medal and 5 silver medal. I'm not sure the statistics, but it's really brilliant result. And always Loughborough, Bath, and Nottingham are the best 3 schools in terms of sports, like in the league tables in different sports.
And there's a thing called BACS, which is inter-university games, like a mini Olympics between all the universities around the UK. And Loughborough have won it for the last 19 years.
Yeah, and also in terms of rankings, Hong Kong students, Chinese students, they look at rankings. So I think Loughborough has been performing brilliant in some league tables.
Yeah,
so
all of the league tables.
Yeah. It's consistently in the top 10 in all league tables. It's very much seen as a prestigious, high quality university in the UK, and is certainly one that ambitious and aspirational students want to go to. And I mean, these are some on the screen here. We've got some other rankings, but it is always sort of between 7 and somewhere in the top 10. I think Tracy already mentioned about architecture being first in the UK, and it being first in the UK for sport, but also we score very highly in terms of our art provision and also our engineering programs.
And it's not just outstanding in terms of academics as well. You can see on the screen now, we've been voted for the best facilities for the student union, second best for student experience. And the thing for us is that there's this really strong sense of community. Once you arrive, you really are part of the Loughborough family. And all of our students already, with our first cohort this year, our first students in September, they already feel very much like Loughborough students, and they can't wait to move on to their first year in the actual schools.
Right. So yeah, that's really impressive, and I'm sure we talk about the living in Loughborough, like how close it is to London and some main cities. Yeah, so it's nearly 1 hour. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure some students will care about that because it's about the convenience of travel, and for accommodation. That's what I know is Loughborough always has enough accommodation for students, because I think some locations in UK, they're really tight and students have to live elsewhere with shared room, and also the cost is really amazing. So do you know the approximate cost per week for Loughborough students?
I believe it ranges from £90 to £120 a week, but I might be wrong there. Ruby, do you have up-to-date accommodation figures?
Yeah, I think I do. We have got a great selection of accommodation options available at Loughborough at the moment. May I just also take this opportunity to kindly remind all the students that unlike our other on-campus centers, our accommodation booking for on-campus Loughborough student actually works comparatively better because it goes directly onto with the university. So it's dealt directly by the university, and that is mainly the reason why we are able to offer a good range of accommodation options for our students studying at on-campus Loughborough. So I'm just trying to look at different options. So for a basic en-suite room, which includes normally 10 meals per week, we call it the catered option at on-campus Loughborough. It would be around, actually, this first option is around just under £200 per week, and we have got some shared option as well. I think that would be cheaper, so that is some like £170 per week, and then some other which might be even lower in terms of cost. Some goes to about £100 per week. So it really depends. But this is the only, like Loughborough is at the moment our only center which offered catered option. So as I said, it will be 10 meals per week, normally breakfast and evening meals. So it's in a way, it actually provides very good options for students in terms of accommodation, and it's really close by our teaching block, as Angela and Tracy said.
Right, it's good catering.
So there's no reason. Yeah, true, and no more excuse for students to be late for classes, right?
No,
exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, I think it helps with the attendance. Yeah, because I'm sure attendance is the most important thing across all centers, not only on campus, not only Loughborough, because I got students who miss a few classes, and it's like attendance meeting 1, attendance meeting 2, and all people are CC'd in email. So yeah, I would just call his parents and tell them about the seriousness of the issue.
Yeah, I think Tracy's already sort of alluded to or emphasised how seriously we take attendance of lessons. But we do have an attendance officer, and her role is monitoring student attendance, following up on absences, and ensuring that students attend their lessons. So it is very much a priority of the centre that students attend above 90% of lessons, if at all possible. And there are disciplinary measures that we will take if this isn't happening.
Right. So yeah, I'm sure the students will be going to classes on time if they know it's one of the most important component in his pathway studies. So yeah, we talked about sports sciences just now, and I think engineering and STEM courses are also highly ranked in UK for Loughborough University. So I wonder how it supports such high ranking in the UK. So what facilities and what research supports the ranking of Loughborough?
Now, the STEM lab that you can see some pictures of there, it's a really impressive, huge building completely dedicated to just STEM. It's all laboratories. There's a different science on each floor, and our students get to go down to use those facilities on 3 occasions during the year. So they go down almost immediately for a really long, or what's the word I want? Familiarization, orientation activity. So they go down, they meet the university lecturers and the technicians, and they get into the labs and they do some experiments. And then as part of their courses, they all have to complete 2 practical experiments as well. So those take place in the STEM lab. One of them, they're 2 different experiments, and the coursework is to write the lab report after they get back based on their data. And then in addition to that, just the same as we have with architecture, we have link tutors for engineering and the physical sciences, and the students go on trips down there. There's an aeroplane, an old war aeroplane hanging up in the big atrium of the engineering building, and our students were taking it in turns to climb into that, see what it felt like to be in there. So that there is good linking, and the experiences are of course tailored to which degree the student wants to go on to. So anybody who wants to go into mechanical engineering will go down and spend a few days in that section, having some lectures and operating some of the machinery. The chemists go into the obviously chemistry labs, and so on. It's all very, very tailored. But everybody loves going down to the STEM labs because it's so futuristic and sparkly and brand new. It's quite exciting down there.
Right. Yeah. So I saw a really huge investment in those labs, but I think it really helps with the research. Yeah.
And Loughborough has over, I mean, in physics and in the STEM subjects alone, they've got over 100 PhD students researching, and those PhD candidates are available to help support our students when they go in for experience days. So they're hearing about what it's like to be an undergraduate foundation student, then a undergraduate degree student, then a master's student, then a PhD student. So we're really linking up the full spectrum of their education now.
Right. So talking about the business school,
Yes.
I'm sure Loughborough has a close connection with the industry, like with banking industry.
It does. Loughborough University prides itself on the emphasis that it places on employability. Because whilst a university can ensure that you get a good degree, not every university has the facilities or the investment in making sure that you're actually able to get a good job or a good career at the end of it. And that is something that Loughborough University does pride itself on. So it's got lots and lots of links with industry and with relevant industry, both in the United Kingdom and abroad. And also what's a very important part of particularly our business courses or our economics courses at the university is work experience and the opportunity for the degree students to spend some time actually out in industry. and really getting their hands dirty, if you like, on what they want to do. You know, rather get out of the academic classroom and actually apply what they're learning to the business world.
Right. So I'm sure it's important to study in a top university if you want to get into top banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan,
KPMG.
Barclays.
If you want to go accountancy, we've got links with KPMG.
That's great. Yeah, one of the big fours. So I'm sure the school will help with the graduate employability. Yeah, and also for art and design, many top ones in UK. So I'm not a art person, but yeah, it would be great if someone can introduce the art courses.
Yeah, art and design is very much a very popular foundation pathway we found at the centre, and it perhaps took us a little bit by surprise, but our art students are doing very well. We have two art teachers who are very charismatic. They're very dedicated to their art, but they're also from industry, so they're practicing artists, which we think is very important. And recently, one of our art teachers actually visited Asia in order to sort of promote some of our art courses, our art and design courses, and that was very successful. But in terms of the university itself has scored first in the UK for fashion and textiles, first for design and crafts, and second in art and design. The university has invested a lot of money into an art and design hub, which our students on the foundation programme are able to experience regularly as part of their programme with us.
Yeah, I can see more rankings on this page for the art and design courses. So for art, I think there's a portfolio needed for progression for art and design.
Yes, I think Tracy has mentioned that earlier, mostly in respect to architecture, but yes, with art and design courses, any of the university programs that require a portfolio, our students will be given the support that they need whilst on our program to produce that portfolio. Any advice we can give to students before they come to us about maybe what kind of work or copies of previous work that they need to bring with them, we will do that as well. We'll provide them with that pre-program support as well.
Right. So what I saw here is a pretty special arrangements for elite athletes. I think
yes.
At Hong Kong, we got a number of athletes.
Very small numbers, very small. And I think that elite foundation would be athletes that the university is already aware of. It's not just anybody who suddenly thinks, oh, am I an elite athlete? Someone who's already operating at the top level for their game. I think that's
I think the point of that slide is really just to show that the university is heavily invested in its global and its international education policies, and really does welcome international students in a variety of different ways onto the campus to study here in the UK.
There's I think there's 1,400 international students here this year.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Not just in on campus, on the whole Loughborough University.
Yeah, I know Loughborough loves to the university side. They love to headhunt those top athletes. I got a student who was in Hong Kong team before. So the Junior Olympics. He joined the badminton team of Hong Kong, and he was studying in UEA's foundation. And then the head coach of Loughborough just tried to ask him go to Loughborough, then play for Loughborough badminton team. So yeah, yeah. So that's one of the stories. Yeah, that I know Loughborough gathers a huge amount of top athletes in the UK and around the globe. Yeah, so yeah, I think Ruby can talk about there's a New London campus for on campus.
Yes. Loughborough University. Loughborough University has a campus in London. It actually is in the Olympic Park. So it's where the London Olympics was held in 2012. And that delivers master's programs, quite a select number of master's programs. But our students from on-campus Loughborough are able to progress onto London Loughborough if they so wish, or if they want to study for one of those particular master's degrees. In addition, we have an on-campus London centre, which is run very much like our on-campus Loughborough centre, and students from that centre are able to progress onto Loughborough London as well.
Right. So yeah, I guess that's most of the information from the center side. So most important thing is from you, Ruby. Can you introduce for Hong Kong students? I think there are scholarships if they apply early. I think most of the Hong Kong DSE students, they are taking their exams. They're gonna take their exams, not taking. They're starting to take the exams in April and May. For A-level ones, that are taking the exams in June. So I think some of them tend to apply earlier to on-campus or other programs. So is there any benefit for them to accept the offer earlier?
Sure. So we are currently offering a scholarship up to £4,000 that will be deducted from their tuition fee. And I would say it's a merit-based scholarship. So we might have to interview the student as well. So normally if a student meets the academic requirement and the English requirement, we should be able to offer a £2,000 scholarship for students. But then if they they are basically high achiever, we would be happy to consider a higher amount of scholarship. But that will be, again, as I said, a merit-based scholarship, and it will be on a first-come, first-served basis as well. So that's the reason why we always encourage students to apply early. And well, regarding the timeline, actually talking about this September intake, it's not even too early, so they should already be applying now. Like a university like Loughborough, it's a very competitive program as well. So we don't want students to come to a situation where the places gone out. So we always encourage students to start submitting the application in the beginning of the year if they're looking at joining in September. And another reason why I would encourage earlier application is also about the accommodation. As you could see, we offer a wide range of options for students, but then if they apply a bit later in the year, they would still be able to get a room, but then they might not be able to get their first preference. So that is another reason why we would encourage them to apply as early as possible. And this is probably the right time, because after they have completed their DSE exams, or even some students, they're studying in Form 5, after they completed their studies, that might be a good timing for us to do scholarship interview as well.
Yeah, so I guess if students want to apply to Loughborough, I guess they can submit an application through us, through Australia UK, and the offers, I think on-campus release offers really quickly will be in 2 to 3 days. Am I right for that one?
That's the maximum, I would say. Yeah, if we're talking about submitting applications now at this stage, because most of the other regions, like in the world, because we recruit globally, I would say most of the other region students might even be like still taking exams or basically focusing on waiting for their final results. So this is not like the busiest time for admissions. So normally they should be able to issue an official offer letter within one or 2 days. So I would say 3 working days maximum.
Right. So for applications, I think most of the courses progression routes are still open for now. But maybe if there are too many applicants, some of the really competitive ones like Archie Sport Science, they may be full soon because there's a quota, I assume.
Yeah, so basically, as you said, some of these more competitive programs would be basically courses that we get most applications for, and as we might have mentioned just now, we teach with smaller class size for almost all programs, all foundation programs on campus. So at the moment, we are all right in terms of caps and number of places available at on campus Loughborough. But I would always encourage students to apply early for a high-ranked university like Loughborough.
Great. So yeah, so for DSE, A-Level, IB, Form 5 students, if you really want to apply for Loughborough, if your dream school is Loughborough, take actions and apply earlier. So if you have any questions, just can press through our WhatsApp link. So we will have counselors help you submit the applications in 1 working day. So yeah, so thank you for Ruby, Tracy, and Angela's time today. Yeah,
Thank
Thank
so
you.
hopefully the session will be informative for all of you, and so thank you for all time. Bye bye.
Sorry, Kenny. Can I
Yeah.
add one more point? Tracy will be coming to Hong Kong in April. So if any students are keen to meet with Tracy, as I said, like scholarship interview, and if you want to know more about on campus and even Loughborough University in general, as you could hear a lot more information from Tracy just now. So please do arrange an appointment with Kenny or any of your education counselor from SI UK. We'll be more than happy to meet students while Tracy is in town.
Yeah,
Yep, I'll be looking forward to meeting some of you. That'll be amazing.
Great. So see you all in person. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, see you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.